One fish lays 300 million eggs at once. This is the weirdest fish on Earth, from jungle rivers to the deep sea. But that wasn't the strangest thing down there. Dipper will guide you from these winding rivers all the way down. Each habitat demands new tricks, so fish keep getting stranger. Because the Amazon is full of hidden challenges, the solutions are anything but ordinary. Picture an insect safe on a leaf overhead. The archerfish solves this by shooting a jet of water like a water pistol. It aims wrong on purpose because light bends at the surface. But that wasn't the strangest thing in these rivers. This skill improves with practice, so the archerfish rarely misses moving targets. But that was just the warm-up. What comes next in these rivers will shock you. Dipper glides past the electric eel. In murky water where eyes fail, this knife fish generates electricity like a stun gun to navigate and stun prey. It can release up to 860 volts, the strongest of any animal. Then things got weirder, as you will see. The shocks also let it leap from the water to press its chin against a threat. Because sight is useless here, electricity became its sixth sense. Then, Humboldt documented this leap 2 centuries ago. You'd think that was the biggest river oddity until the arapaima appears. This giant must surface every 20 minutes to breathe air because its swim bladder doubles as a lung. But bigger surprises lurk ahead. Its layered scales are so tough that piranha teeth rarely pierce them, like flexible armor. Dipper follows one as it gulps air, then dives again. But the next parasite you meet is far smaller and far stranger. The candiru normally drinks blood from fish gills. That urethra myth is basically fiction from one doubtful case. The truth that it is a gill vampire is actually weirder than the legend, but you won't believe the coasts. Dipper leaves the rivers behind as we reach the coasts. Here, the line between water and land blurs completely. What fish would choose to live half its life on land, as you now wonder? Dipper meets the mudskipper. It skips across mud using its pectoral fins like legs, climbs roots, and breathes through its wet skin and mouth lining. It must stay damp or it suffocates, but you see how it survives. Males defend burrows with push-ups and fin displays, like tiny bodybuilders. Dipper watches closely, but how does an ambush hunter catch prey faster than you can blink? The frogfish looks like sponge or rock and wiggles a lure that is actually a modified fin spine. Its suction strike happens in 6 milliseconds, one of the fastest moves in the animal kingdom, as Dipper observes. But what about the sand makers? Then the parrotfish bites coral chunks, grinds them in a throat mill, and poops sand. One fish can make hundreds of kilograms of white beach sand each year, as Dipper sees. What a builder! But you see more at night. At night, some wrap themselves in a mucus bubble that hides their scent from moray eels, as Dipper notes. But the stonefish waits motionless for days, looking exactly like a rock, but you would never spot it first. Its 13 dorsal spines carry venom that can kill a human if untreated. You would never see it until you stepped on it. Dipper gives this master of disguise a wide berth. Until the shallows grew even stranger. The shallows have been plenty strange, like a carnival of oddities. But what happens when sunlight fades and pressure climbs as you descend with Dipper? Dipper descends into the deep. Here, the barrel eye hovers with a transparent head like a glass dome. Its tubular green eyes rotate upward to scan for prey silhouettes against the faint light above. But you see more. When it spots food, the eyes swing forward to focus. The whole head is a fluid-filled dome, acting like built-in goggles, as Dipper observes. But teeth are the next problem down here, you realize. The fangtooth has the largest teeth relative to body size of any fish. Its fangs are so long they need special sockets in the roof of its mouth just to close. Only 18 centimeters long, but Dipper sees worse ahead. Then the surprise is compounded. Dipper approaches the blobfish zone. Voted ugliest animal yet, that photo is a crime scene. At 600 to 1200 meters, its jelly body is perfectly normal for the pressure, like a buoyant balloon. But you see why. Without a swim bladder that would implode, the low-density flesh lets it float effortlessly. Bring it up, and decompression turns it into the sad blob we know. But what about the heaviest bony fish? The ocean sunfish reaches 2,300 kilograms, yet has no real tail. It lays that huge batch of 300 million ova because most will never survive. The larvae look like nothing adults until they grow. Dipper turns toward the surface again. Every creature we met solved its world in the strangest way possible, like experts in their field. The river spitter seems almost normal after the transparent-headed hunter, but you see the lesson. You realize the deep pressure would crush most river fish instantly, like a vice grip. So each habitat writes its own rulebook, and the fish obey with genius inventions, as Dipper shows us, until the full picture emerged. Dipper surfaces at last. The mucus bubble sleeper and the voltage leaper both prove life finds a way, no matter how weird it looks to us. Next time you walk a beach, remember a parrotfish probably made some of that sand. Or watch a river and wonder what is aiming at bugs overhead. The blobfish is not ugly where it belongs. It is perfectly engineered for crushing pressure we could never survive. Our world is far stranger than it first appears. Dipper has shown you fish that walk, spit, shock, build beaches, see through their own skulls, and float without bones. What extreme environment will nature redesign next? The weirdest fish on Earth remind us that every corner of the planet holds solutions we never imagined. Which adaptation surprised you most? Because life never stops experimenting. The next discovery could be even stranger than a glass-headed fish or a beach-making parrotfish. Dipper signs off, but the oceans still hide countless surprises. The question is, what will we find when we look closer? The parrotfish creates sand and sleeps in a mucus cocoon. Then you realize the beach under your feet may be fish-made. Dipper watches it skip across the mud and climb roots using its fins as legs. It even does push-ups to defend its territory, like a tiny athlete. The ocean sunfish is flat as a pancake and the heaviest bony fish at 2,300 kilograms. Dipper sees it lay 300 million ova. The larvae are 2 millimeters and look different, like tiny aliens. Then the pressure in the abyss changes everything. Dipper takes you to the blobfish at-home depth. At 60 to 120 atmospheres, the pressure is like having 12 tons on your shoulders, yet its jelly body allows it to hover without effort. The barrel eye features a clear dome like a glass helmet, so its tubular eyes can rotate to look up or forward like a rotating periscope. But the fangs of the next fish are even crazier. The archerfish corrects for refraction like a physicist with every shot up to 1.5 meters. Dipper follows it as it learns to hit moving targets with practice. The electric eel leaps to shock threats with 860 volts. Dipper has taken you from the Amazon to the abyss. The stonefish venom and the mudskipper lungs are the start of nature's creativity. Dipper signs off, but the exploration never ends. If you could evolve one adaptation from these weird fish, which would you pick, and how would you use it? If you could evolve one adaptation from these weird fish, Which would you pick, and how would you use it? What should we explain next?